Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. I hope we're all learning it together. Boy, have I had some opportunities over the weekend to peace out. My biggest client got fired from their biggest client, which meant I got fired too. Anyway, I ain't worried about it. I got so many other things going on. It's really like, oh, just adjust, trust God, and just keep on going, right? It's all cool. It's not that big a deal. God has got me covered. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Wait, before I get too far in, I should get my copy of Command Your Morning in today. So I should have it here to show you tomorrow. And I did something special with this devotional. I made a companion journal. So you could actually, because I always put questions, for you to just kind of, so you can think about, the whatever the devotion was, some questions just to ask yourself. But I actually made a companion journal with the same cover, and you can actually write down your thoughts while you're reading or while you're thinking or something like that. Anyway, I just thought that might be cool. Maybe it's not, but anyway, that's not published yet, so it'll take me a few days to get that. But I should have the Command Your Morning, my first copy of that in my hand this week, and then I'm trying to make some decisions on what to do with them. But anyway, there's a lot going on here. A lot going on through my brain too. Yeah, that's a good sign, right? Anyway, so this morning I got up and I was reading several different things. I was praying I was praying about, all the things, because that's what the word tells us to do, right? We read that in Philippians 4 like last week, right? Where it says, take everything to everything, even if it feels small, even if it feels too big, even somewhere in between, take everything to him in prayer. He doesn't tell you can't bring that or that or that, but I'll take that. I'll take this request. I'll help you with that. But those, just put those over there. I don't care about that, or that's so insignificant, or that's too big. There's no exclusionary statements on stuff. It said bring everything to God in prayer with thanksgiving and just give it to him. So that's what I was doing this morning. And then I started kind of reading. I was actually headed over to Colossians, and I don't know how I ended up in Matthew. Don't ask, because that's how my brain works. I don't know. It's a little bit like Google in there. You just get something and you go the other direction. And I found myself, though, in Matthew 2. Now, this is not something I read a lot. I don't read the Christmas story, especially don't read it in December, because everybody's reading it and I get tired of it. Right? I broke all the Christian church mores today and just went for the Christmas story, because I found this little nugget that just it's got stuck in my head. And so I wrote over and over and like, this is significant, but I'm not sure why. So I started thinking about it and meditating about it as I started going about my day and getting Chris settled back for the morning and all these kind of things. And here it is. It's in Matthew 2, and it says this, starts with verse 13. After the wise men were gone, the wise men went to see Jesus, and Herod said, tell me where he is, because I want to go worship him too, but he was lying. He did not want to worship him. He wanted to kill him, because in their interpretation, if he's going to become the king, he's going to wipe out the king that's there. They didn't understand that he was going to be the king forever, that he didn't need to wipe out anybody, because it wasn't going to be a physical kingdom. And this was something that was confusing in their minds for their day, right? And so he's like, tell me where the baby is so I can go worship him too. But that's not really what he wanted to do. So the angel came to the wise men and went, don't go back that way, go the other way. So it says, after the wise men were gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Get up and flee to Egypt with the child and his mother, and stay there until I tell you to return, because Herod is going to try to kill the child. That night, Joseph left. That's the key point right there. That night, God said, do this. Joseph did this. That's a key right there to maintaining that peace in your heart. When God gives you those little unctions, I'm not too old to learn some things, right? And I'm learning when I follow some things that seem weird. And after a few weeks, I start going, oh, this covered me. This protected me from that. For instance, I lost this one client, but I've already got a second job interview for a new job that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I was going, this is dumb. I don't need a job. This is dumb. I don't need this. Why am I doing this? I thought it was so dumb. And then when I woke up Saturday morning, I think it was, to the news that they had gotten fired, it wasn't anything I did, thank goodness, but they had lost that client, and that big chunk was gone. I was like, see, God covered me and I didn't even know it. I just followed going, I don't know. I was like, do I have peace? Yeah. I don't have let's not do this. I don't have a disruption in that peace. And this is such a key point. God said, get up and go to Egypt. And Joseph got up and went to Egypt. How simple is that? When God says it, we just do it. Bring everything to me in prayer with thanksgiving. Bring your request to me. Jesus said, come to me if you're weary and heavy laden. I'll give you rest. Let me give you rest. All these little things. If we just obey, things are going to work out, even when they don't make sense. Okay, so it said that night Joseph left for Egypt with the child and Mary, his mother, and they stayed there until Herod died. It said this fulfilled what the Lord had spoken through the prophet. I called my son out of Egypt. And so I started thinking, I was like, in our minds, we talk about the deliverance from Egypt so much. It just comes up so much. I've used it for a little bit of everything, right? The fact that they came out and ran right into the Red Sea and were squished behind with Pharaoh's army wasn't a sign they'd missed God. That's a big one for me, right? Moses had to just trust God with all these things. They went, God made this huge deliverance. But sometimes we associate, this is the best word, I guess, slavery, oppression, bondage with Egypt. But God told Joseph to go to Egypt, and it became a place of safety, a place of protection. Talk about redemption. Talk about turning something around. Egypt's no longer this horrible place, and of course it's not. I'm not digging on Egypt, okay? It's okay, right? But a place that had been a place of oppression and slavery and horrible mistreatment and bondage is all of a sudden a safe place for God's people. He sent Joseph, different Joseph, second Joseph has gone to Egypt, right? Ooh, now I'm going to have to be thinking about that all day. I may have something on that tomorrow. Stay here, Jeannie. Okay, so he sends the second Joseph to Egypt, and it became a place, but it was a place of safety. It was a place of refuge. It's like God redeemed this horrible story of oppression, this horrible story of slavery, the horrible torment that they went through all those years. God said, I can make this place a safe place too. And I'm going to be thinking about this all day now. So there's no telling what we'll talk about tomorrow. But I started thinking, it all comes down to just listening to God, just knowing this word, just knowing who God is. What if Joseph had said, I don't know if that's a good idea, God. I don't want to go to Egypt. Why Egypt? I don't want to go. That's a long way. That's a long journey. And he stayed there for quite some time, right? And he's got a new baby and a new wife, and they traveled. They did not hop on an airplane and go down. They didn't hop on a car and go down. They walked to Egypt. There was no other mode of transportation, right? They walked and they moved to Egypt, and it became that safe place, that hiding place. But the key was he listened to God. He followed God. And so my thing today is this: no matter where God leads me today, no matter what life throws at me today, no matter what comes my way or doesn't come my way that I wanted to come my way, I got some ideas there, God. I'm going to trust him, right? I'm going to trust him no matter what. And so even in a place that is associated with slavery and some horrible mistreatment, it became a refuge. God can put his peace anywhere. He protects us wherever we are. He didn't say, I'm going to protect you everywhere except here. I'm going to protect you anywhere but there. And I'm going to take care of you anywhere but here. Unless you're doing this or unless you're doing that or unless this happens or that. No, God's got us. And he has a place of safety for us, and it's right in his heart. See, we don't have to physically go to Egypt for safety. We just have to run to God. And that's the key. Running to God when we need something, running to God when something presents itself in our life we didn't expect, running to him and listening to him. He can create a safe place anywhere he wants. All we got to do is present ourselves to him and say, I'm going to trust you for today. I'm going to trust you with this stuff. I'm just going to trust you. I'm just going to peace out because God is the God of peace and he's got me covered today. Peace out. I hope I said something that made sense. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow.